it's been really fun to sort of trade in the stilettos and throw on some boots and, do things a little differently. There's no doubt about it. The barbecue in Texas is no joke. Well, maybe we might be able to deliver a whole new show. I mean, who knows? Well, I have friends that grew up in Texas. One of my dear friends, Roxy, who I went to college with back in the 90s, not to date myself, on spring breaks and stuff like that. We would go to her hometown in Dallas, and she used to take me to Lake Austin and stuff like that. So I had been visiting Texas for quite some time, and after the pandemic, when things started to get haywire and, in LA, we don't have that kind of land. I started seeing an influx of people leaving California and moving to Texas and finding ranches and stuff like that. And it was about 50 million in business that I saw walk out the door. And so, your head starts tick-tocking. The market's not so hot in LA right now. And I was like, we need to pivot. So I got my license, and we're about 2 years in now. I have a great team in Dallas. We're like 10 or 11 strong now. And then we have a wonderful team in Austin that we're building as well with about 5 people there. Believe it or not, Highland Park, we call it the Beverly Hills of Texas. So there's a lot of similarities, particularly in the cities. Dallas is a burgeoning city. Austin is on fire, always has been, is a little more cultured and a little more, they always say keep Austin weird. So 2 very different cities. And I think both of them bring something different. But, I get to do things like tour properties with ropers. I never had a buyer who was like a professional roper. We were on a tractor together and then a Polaris looking at land. So it's been really fun to sort of trade in the stilettos and throw on some boots and, do things a little differently. When you've been in the business as long as I have, it's pretty exciting to be in a new market like that. I'm learning a lot, and I really, really love it. Like I said, there is a little piece of me that feels like when I'm in Dallas, it feels a little bit like home. I mean, it's a very sophisticated city. Texas, I think, sometimes gets a bad rap for being one thing, and it so isn't. There's so much culture. There's diversity, there's tons of great restaurants, and I love football. Like, there's nothing like going to a Dallas Cowboys game. You've never seen anything like it. And so for me, that's really exciting because LA is so different in that sense. I mean, you need to go to Highland Park Village, which is to me like a mini Rodeo Drive, but so much more charming. I mean, Park House is a beautiful private club there, and you should definitely try to get a reservation there, but it is private, so you're gonna have to find a friend that's a member. I'd also say it is an absolute must to do something sport related while you're there, whether it's going to a Cowboys game or going to watch the Mavs. These people are intense about their sports, and coming from LA where there's so many fair weather fans, like doing something like that, it's a whole different experience. And then you got to get some barbecue. There's no doubt about it. The barbecue in Texas is no joke, but you got to be careful about how often you eat it because, the jeans might not fit after a few weeks of barbecue. And then again, like, you can't kind of let go of the Tex-Mex. Like, I am a Mexican food girl, and the Tex-Mex in Dallas is fire. I've been to so many different places. I have yet to pick my first one. Mi Cocina is also in Highland Park Village, and I mean, the food's great. It's great. There's better Tex-Mex, but there's those drinks, and you have one of them, and I think they're called sambas, and they're lethal. It's like a sangria, frozen margarita situation, and I only recommend having one. And I would say, the streets, like just walking and being outside, not in August, but being outside in Dallas, like, it's just so beautiful. There's so many beautiful trees and sidewalks, and people are really active. And so again, coming from a city like LA, or for people that like live in New York City, you go to Dallas, it's so clean, it's so beautiful, and there's so many different things to do and little pockets. So I would say those are a few things I would be a must. I've had some fun in Dallas, but nothing serious. I think the one thing I will say about men in Texas, they're gentlemen. And there's something about like the miss and the ma'am and the opening the doors and the standing up from the table when you go to the restroom. Like in LA, a guy's like texts you like to see you again. How's like 10 o'clock at Craig's? And you're like, you know what? No, I'm done with that. So it's nice to be in like a totally different state and recognize that not all men are LA douchey. Well, maybe we might be able to deliver a whole new show. I mean, who knows? We'll see. We're working on it.